What up, everybody? Live stream moment right now. Special live stream moment. I'm excited, guys. Oh, holy smokes. Star Trek Discovery Season 2 premieres tonight. 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 I'm gonna know, have a good time. I can't sing that Queen song. It's a fantastic song, but I can't sing it. So I'm excited, man. It's been I know a lot of Trekkers, a lot of Trekkies, a lot of fans of Star Trek franchise kind of hate this latest installment. I haven't really watched those haters videos on YouTube, so I can't really counter argue it. But for me, man, it's fantastic. This whole long arc thing that they have for this show instead of having it be procedural. So, and I've done tons of videos of my reviews of Star Trek Discovery Season 1, and I've mentioned to you many times why I like um, each of those episodes. So before we get to, because I'm gonna come back later this evening. All right, I'm gonna come back later tonight to give you my review of Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 1. So stay tuned for that. I'll be back live streaming tonight, right after the episode airs. So before we get to that, I want to give you my thoughts about the Star Trek short treks. Now, excuse me. Now these are the short films in within the Star Trek Discovery universe. And there were 4 episodes and they aired this past November and December, the month of November and the month of December. And I didn't get to watch them um, the last couple of months. I was away, I was busy, but now in anticipation of tonight's premiere of season 2, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and watch these 4 short treks, which I did, and so I have some thoughts about it. So this will fall under opinions, opinion segment of Rama Screen Channel as opposed to the reviews segment. So yeah, I finally watched Star Trek Short Trek, and I like them. I like them very, very much. Me likey short treks. Uh, Part of it's because I'm a huge fan of anthology, man. I grew up a fan of Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits. I'm not too crazy about the anthologies that Ryan Murphy has given us on TV, like American Horror Story or American Crime Story. I mean, I'm sure they're great, but I'm more of a like the short kind, half an hour, you get straight to the point. Sometimes there's twist ending and sometimes there's more lesson to it. And that's what I got from watching like Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits. And that's the impression or the feel I get from short tracks too. Obviously, just like Twilight Zone, this is science fiction based. Um, so let's start with the first one here. The first one, the title is Runaway. Runaway, starring none other than one of the fan favorite characters in Star Trek Discovery, Mary Wiseman, Sylvia Tilly, played by actress Mary Wiseman. So Tilly, as you know, Tilly is a nerd. Tilly is, I don't know. Sometimes she can get clumsy. Sometimes she can get clueless, but her heart's in the right place. She's very compassionate. She has a big heart, the heart of gold, if you will. And but as there's certain aspects, whether it be about the ship or how Discovery functions, that Tilly sometimes her heart kind of gets in the way. So, but in this episode 1 of Short Trek, titled Runaway, her heart actually becomes front and center. It actually helps her. So the story, long story short, um, after she has this argument with her mom because her mom's kind of critical of her. Her mom's a conservative, obviously, so her mom's like a hologram, because the technology is like that. You communicate through hologram, and it's like, all right, mom, whatever, this like, so the mom's lecturing her and preaching to her basically. And so after that, she goes to like to eat in the in the cafeteria. Of course, oh my god, by the way, this episode highlights the cafeteria like no other, man. I love that place. You can get any food you want, right? You can press the buttons or just a voice command, spaghetti, whatever, and then boom, it'll it'll produce spaghetti for you. Just like the clothing too. Like they can produce clothes or suits, whatever, in a matter of seconds. You know, it's just like I love it. I love Star Trek world because so high advanced. Um, so in the cafeteria, she eats alone, and oh, I forgot to mention that early on in the episode, there's some sort of something happens where a certain somebody or a certain creature or a certain person, um I would say entity, maybe, kind of finds her way inside the Star Trek Discovery ship or the USS Discovery. And so she's there without any authorization, right? So what's the word for that? Not necessarily stowaway, but I guess you could say, you know, she using today's society term, I guess she crosses the border illegally, which I hate to use that word. But so she finds herself in USS Discovery without authorization. She's not supposed to be there, you know, and nobody. And she has this ability where she can camouflage, so she can be invisible, and you can't spot her when she's invisible. And so Tilly's sitting eating at the cafeteria by herself, and then boom, you, she hears like, whoa, what's going on here? And then the cafeteria kind of acts up too, you know, starts acting up, starts throwing food, like all kinds of food all over the room. And then she encounters this character, this entity, this other species. She's called Poe. This alien species is called Poe. Yeah, that's her name. And and after a certain dialogue and conversation, it turns out, you know, just to make the story short, that Poe is supposed to be is supposed to go through coronation. She's supposed to be the next in the line of the throne on her planet because her parents died and her brother, the other successor, also died. Um, and and the thought of being a queen or being the queen for her people freaks her out. That's why she kind of runs away and she finds herself in the USS Discovery. And in that process, conversing or in, you know, dialogue or talking with Tilly realizes, oh my god, I'm in the parental figure now. I'm like my mom now to this character Poe, to this person Poe. And it's just a nice, lovely episode where Tilly kind of empowers Poe, or at least gives Poe an advice like, hey, you know, it's gonna be okay. And it's as if Tilly is giving advice to herself, because there'll be times also throughout season one where I noticed that Tilly not necessarily, you know, goes through anxiety attack, but there are times when a responsibility gets too big, that she gets like, whoa, I'm not sure, I'm not confident enough to tackle that on. So she kind of sees herself in Poe, and, you know, without realizing it, she becomes like her mom to Poe. And it got me thinking like, wow, you know, I don't know whether or not you like it, you know, whether or not you want to admit it, we are a lot like our parents. You know, we are like our parents more than what more than we like to admit. Let's put that again. Let's rephrase that again. Whether or not you want to admit it, we are like our parents. It doesn't mean that we have to be exactly or make decisions or have the same, you know, story arc or fate, or you don't have to repeat history. That's what I'm trying to say. But there will be some times when you catch yourself behaving or sharing some traits that are like, oh my god, I just did that. That's totally my old man. I'm kind of like my old man now. So I find that to be amusing about this episode, about the character Tilly, and I think it's one of those episodes that just makes you think. Especially it definitely makes Tilly think, and I think it wises her up a little bit. All right, so yeah, fantastic. If you can watch Short Trek on CBS All Access, I'm sure they still have it there. Please do so. By the way, Rama Screen is an affiliate of CBS All Access. I kid you not. I'm serious. Rama Screen is an official. It's part of the affiliate program of CBS All Access. So if you subscribe to CBS All Access through the link in the description box below this video, you can help support Rama Screen channel. Uh, Percentage wise will go towards helping support Rama Screen channel. Percentage of your subscription to CBS All Access. So I highly recommend you do that. All right, so episode 2, let's get it right moving along here, because Star Trek Discovery season 2 is about to premiere in about 45 minutes from now. That's 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, okay, 45 minutes left. Episode 2 of Star Trek Short Treks is titled Calypso. Again, it's titled Calypso. Calyppo. Calypso. And it features one of my favorite actors. His name is Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge, if you don't remember, he was in one of my favorite TV series, Leverage. Oh yeah. Where's my Leverage fans out there? Come on. Let me hear you. Oh, I've been dying. I mean, waiting for, because I've been my favorite my fellow Leverage fans out there would know that all these years there have been rumors about Leverage movie, a potential Leverage movie. But we haven't seen anything yet. Come on, come on, let's make it happen. Aldous Hodge um, also shows up in the movie Straight Outta Compton and Jack Reacher Never Go Back. So he's a very, very consistent character actor in the business. So anyway, Aldous Hodge plays this character named Kraft in episode 2, and Kraft basically gets stranded in USS Discovery when USS Discovery is uninhabited. Nobody's manning the ship. Nobody's there. So Kraft is alone there, and he's hurt at the start of the episode. He's hurt, and so and then he puts on the clothes or uniform, um, and he encounters the AI robot that's controlling the ship. You know how Legends of Tomorrow, the Wave Rider has Gideon. Well, in this one, the AI is Zora. And guess what? She is voiced by none other than actress Annabelle Wallis. Annabelle Wallis, of course, is an actress from such movies as Annabelle Creation, I believe. Yeah. Oh, or the first Annabelle movie. Maybe it's the first Annabelle movie. And she's also in that Mummy movie, co-starring Tom Cruise. Do you remember that? Woo, that was a shitty movie. But anyway, Annabelle Wallis is a fantastic actress, and she voices the AI, Zora. Um, so what's fascinating about this is it's an homage to Space Odyssey. You know, the HAL 9000. Do you remember HAL 9000? And it's also an homage to Duncan Jones's movie Moon. Remember Moon with Sam Rockwell and Kevin Spacey? I know the problematic Kevin Spacey, but he voiced the AI. I think the name is Gertie. And then also this episode also is an homage to the movie Passenger. Remember Passenger with Chris Pratt? So it's kind of like that, the same storyline where, or similar storyline where Aldous Hodge's character Kraft finds himself stranded and alone in this big old ship, and just the only thing that keeps him company is the voice of the AI, um, the HAL 9000 or the Gertie or the of this story, which is Zora. And it's this episode is so sad and deeply moving because Kraft is alone, and you can tell also the voice is kind of alone, and Annabelle provides some personality so that the robot doesn't sound she doesn't sound robotic. She actually has longing of herself, like desires. And there's a part where the she produces a hologram of Kraft's earthly wife so that she can dance with Kraft. And Kraft's like, oh, this is just not the same. It doesn't feel the same. I still miss my wife. So at the end, Zora has to let Kraft go, and it's just sad, man. It's just there's no other way to describe it. You can't. It's also romantic a little bit, but in a heartbreaking way. It's kind of like because they're not meant to be. They're not destined to be together, Kraft and Zora. But there's a part of you kind of like, oh man, if only this could work. But in the back of your head, it's like you gotta accept that this could not work. He's a human, she's a robot, she's just a voice. Um, and it's just beautiful, man. This is some of the moments in this episode also brings you to tears. Much of it is because Aldous Hodge's performance is fantastic, and it's such a human picture, buoyancy, like so intimate and up close. Love it. This is probably my favorite episode of all the 4 episodes of Star Trek Short Treks. On top of the fact that it reminds me of some of those movies that I mentioned to you: Passengers, Space Odyssey, and Moon. This concept of being stranded in one place and a voice keeping you company, that concept will never get old, at least in the science fiction verse. Okay, so let's get to the next episode. Once again, to remind you that Rama Screen is an affiliate of CBS All Access. So if you subscribe to CBS All Access through the link in the description box below this video, you will help support Rama Screen channel. A percentage of your subscription will go towards helping support this channel. So, okay, the next episode is The Brightest Star. All right, how are we on time? Okay, good. All right, again, season 2 of Star Trek Discovery will start in about uh, 40 minutes from now, less than 40 minutes from now, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, the episode 3 of Star Trek Short Treks is called The Brightest Star. It's titled The Brightest Star, and it features Doug Jones as, once again, Saru. Love Saru. Um, okay, so in a nutshell, this is more or less a prequel. You get to see where Saru was before he joined the USS Discovery. And so you see in this one, you see Saru in his home planet and with his sister, and apparently his dad is what's the word I'm looking for here? Is the high priest or the voice of authority, the authoritative figure, the public head that every other citizen in that planet, or at least in that region, they obey him. And so they have this routine. I guess you can call this a tradition, if you will, where there'll be moments when because there's this flying, I guess, floating object that demands sacrifice. I call it sacrifice, but in the episode, the high priest, Doug Jones's dad, calls it that some of the men I guess you could say men, would have to be transported to this other world through this floating thing in order to, I don't know, I guess accomplish some other mission in that other world. So the way he describes it is like, it's like what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like a mission, like a calling. So if you have been called to be transported up through this floating thing, then that is a privilege. That is something that you'd be honored to go through. So that's the tradition that they have. But Saru always looks to the stars. Saru, even in this early on in his life, before he joins USS Discovery, he always looks to the stars. He's always curious about what's out there. Like in his mind, it's like, this can't be just it. This can't be it. There's got to be more to this. So throughout this episode, you see him clashing with the orthodoxy and the way the way his father runs things. And so he discovers this device, or he comes across it, and he's smart, man. So he kind of tweaks it so that it can project a signal up in the universe, you know. And guess what? The signal gets picked up by none other than Michelle Yeoh's character. Michelle Yeoh, of course, plays Philippa Giorgio. And so Philippa Giorgio comes down, with her small ship, um, to find out who is this that's been like receiving our signal. And Saru encounters her, and they have a conversation. And Philippa Giorgio offers Saru a job. Basically, it's like, come join us on Discovery. You are meant for so much more than just this. But the price is that Saru has to leave his people behind. Saru at one point even asks Giorgio, like, "Hey, can I return someday?" And Giorgio says, like, "That's probably not possible." And you know what? At first, when she says that, I feel, my first reaction was like, kind of like defensive, like, "Whoa, really? You can't let him return sometimes to see his people occasionally, at least, like kind of like visit, once in a while?" And but then again, I understand, because if you are part of the Federation and your job is to go where no man has gone before and explore, right? And the universe is so vast, so massive. Like there will be countless missions after missions after missions, right? That the Discovery has to accomplish or goes through. The idea of occasionally visiting your loved ones in your home planet may not be quite feasible. So I totally get that. It's a tough pill to swallow, I'm sure, for Saru. But he makes a choice, and he leaves his sister behind, and it's kind of sad. his sis, his sister looks up, because the sister knows that her brother's gone, and she'll probably never see him, and that makes me feel sad, because I have two little sisters, and the idea that my sisters can never see me again, that would break my heart, man. That would get me crying, like, immediately. Um, so scene, Rama, just relax, Rama. Pull yourself together. Okay. Um, Before I conclude and move on to the next episode, or the final episode, about this one, about the brightest star, it's so fascinating, because this is basically the writers, or the writer of this episode is basically trying to give you an illustration of science clashing with religion, science versus religion. Now, I come from a place where, or an under cohabitate with religion, but that's just me. Some people feel like religion is the antithesis of science, and it's obvious in this episode that the writer's trying to convey that, because the high priest, and the Saru's dad, or Saru's, I guess Saru's dad, yeah, we can say that, he's so conservative, he's so religious. He's like, no, this is how it should be. This is how it has always been. We send these men up in the sky through this floating thing, and you should not question things about it. You should not ask questions about it. If you get called, then you'll have to obey and do the same. And Saru is not like that. Saru has a science mind. Science. He's a scientist at heart. He's like he keeps questioning. He hypothesizes. He asks, what if it doesn't have to be this way? What if we can use this device for something else, or what if we can tweak it? And and that, of course, as you all know, in the history of mankind, when mankind starts to question things, starts to ask when mankind starts to ask, what if we do things differently, that's when progress happens. That's when science comes into the picture. Logic, reasoning, you know, putting things down in math, as opposed to just taking things blindly, without questioning. And, it's like, so I totally get that, though. I totally get that. I'm not against that at all. I come from a religious family, grow up religious upbringing. I'm not religious anymore, but I do believe that science and religion can help each other out. But I also understand why some people think that for science to exist, or for science to progress, for science to do well, religion or anything like it should not get in the way. And I think that's what the Brightest Star episode is addressing here. And yeah, so I guess it's up to you guys whether or not you agree with that, um, assessment. All right. So lastly, the last episode, we're making good time. What are we? 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. So 30 minutes left, right? 5:30, right? That's when season 2 of Star Trek Discovery premieres. Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait. I got my rotisserie chicken ready with my rice. I'm gonna eat, with my hand as I watch the show. And then I'll come back. I'll come back later tonight after the episode airs to do another live stream review of season 2, episode 1. So stay tuned for that. By the way, this final episode is called The Escape Artist, the final episode of Star Trek Short Treks, episode 4, titled The Escape Artist. And guess who directed it? It's directed by Rainn Wilson. That's right, the actor Rainn Wilson from the Office series and such movies as Juno. And Rainn Wilson, as you know, my fellow Star Trek Discovery fans, plays the character Harry Mudd in the series in season 1. And so he's back for this short trek. And Harry Mudd, as a refresher to remind you, Harry Mudd is a con artist. There's no better way to describe that. To describe him, he's a con artist. He's a snake oil salesman. So he's good with his speech. He can fool you if you let him talk too much. He can probably convince you to do something or otherwise, because that's his skill. And so in this episode, you see Harry Mudd gets captured by a bounty hunter. And so there's this long dialogue, where Harry Mudd is trying to convince the bounty hunter, hey, maybe you should not turn me into the Federation, because the Federation has the bounty on his head for like 100,000. I think 100,000. I forgot what the number or the exact figure is. But, throughout the episode, he's trying to persuade the bounty hunter, come on, don't turn me in. We can work this out. Maybe I can be useful to you some way. And then you see also flashbacks, because at one point the bounty hunter says, huh, has that line ever worked for you? And then you see flashbacks of other times when Harry Mudd also gets captured by other bounty hunters, and similar instances happen, similar dialogues or conversation happen, where he's trying to convince those other bounty hunters, hey, come on, Surely there's something we can work out, right? You don't have to turn me into the Federation. Come on, man, come on. Um, and so we see those flashbacks. We saw those other instances with those other bounty hunters, along with the initial bounty hunter, and then you get to the Federation. I'm sorry, the USS Discovery. The bounty hunter transfers Harry Mudd there, and then it's revealed that apparently it's not the real Harry Mudd. The guy who receives who beams them up to USS Discovery, he tells the bounty hunter, "Oh my God, not another one of these again." What do you mean? The bounty hunter says, like, "Well, he's not the real Harry Mudd. Look, come with me. Let me show you." And so he takes the bounty hunter to this place where they keep all the Harry Mudds in there, talking to each other, and they have similar lines. And guess what? Turns out those are androids, man. Those are androids. Those are not. They're not the real flesh human Harry Mudd. Um, so the flesh real human Harry Mudd turns out he is disguised as this female bounty hunter that's been that's been capturing Harry Mudd and giving out, giving Harry Mudd out to other bounty hunters with the right price. I think it's 50,000, so he gets half. And so essentially, the real Harry Mudd created clones, android clones of himself, lots of them, and he would contact other bounty hunters, in the galaxy. It's like, hey, there's a price for this guy. I can get him. I can I can capture him and give him to you, so you can give him to the Federation and get the price. So all I need is just half of it, $50,000. You see what I'm getting at? It's a fantastic business, man. Holy crap. Shady, illegal business, mind you, probably. Uh, but it's a smart one. You gotta admit, it's at least it's a smart one for Harry Mudd, because that's the kind of business, of course, right? Of course, that's the kind of business that Harry Mudd would think of or would concoct. Like, of course, Harry Mudd would make such a business, and why not? He's a con artist. He's a liar. Why not monetize on what you're good at? And if what you are good at is lying, monetize on that. Kids, don't try that at home. So yeah, this episode is just fun and funny, very lighthearted, nothing too serious. There's nothing romantic about it. There's nothing heartbreaking, or there's no words of wisdom like the Tilly episode with Poe. But it's just fun, man. It's fun, and I think Rainn Wilson did a great job directing it. And I hope, has he directed a Star Trek episode or season one? I don't think he has, right? Well, my memory's a little shoddy, but I hope he directed, or I hope he directs future Star Trek episodes, Star Trek Discovery episodes, because Rainn Wilson did a good job with this short trek, The Escape Artist, in my opinion. Okay. Overall, fantastic, fantastic short films. Again, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits feel to it. And you know what? It's a good way to introduce some of the characters that obviously could not fit in the story arc of season one. We get to see Saru's sister, and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, we get to see this new character, Poe. And I'm thinking, when I was watching these short treks, I'm thinking like, wow, will we ever get to see any of these characters again? Maybe, right? It'd be nice if season 3 or season 4 of Star Trek Discovery, we could see Poe or Saru's sister, or maybe we'll get to find out why the USS Discovery is empty in episode 2 of Short Trek Calypso. So because in the short treks, in these short treks, not really, aside, or aside from the Saru episode, the brightest star, the others we don't really know where they are in the timeline. Where if it's like, why is it empty, or like, why is Harry Mutt there? Like, is that after Giorgio? Is that after the parallel world Giorgio joins in, or before? So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see if um, the characters introduced in these short treks, or the concepts, or the arc or the plot in these short treks have some connections to the characters or to the bigger arc in either season 2 or season 3 or season 4. But even if that's not the case, even if these 4 episodes are just standalone and we won't get to see Saru's sister anymore, um, they are still fun. They are still fun. I highly recommend you go watch these short treks um, whenever you can on CBS All Access. Again, Star Trek Discovery series is only available on CBS All Access. So please, if you'd like to subscribe, please do so through the link in the description box below this video, because Rama Screen is an affiliate of CBS All Access. So it'll help support this channel tiny bit, but it'll be a contribution. All right. That's it. Alrighty then. Woohoo! Season 2 is about to start in less than a half hour from now. Okay, so I'll see you guys after the episode airs. I'll come back live stream review of season 2, episode 1. Oh, live long and prosper, everybody. And as always, let's rock this.